People usually start by attacking your reputation when they want to criticize you. I had the exact same experience. They tried to discredit me, my character, and myself by naming me, calling me a rat, or making unfounded charges. Actually, though, all you have to do is take a look at the paperwork. Throughout my life, I have never lied to anyone. You can see who worked together and who didn't if you look closely, even though my name does show in some instances. Irrespective of guilt or innocence, the facts are the facts, regardless of a person's citizenship or criminal record. If you are asked, "Did you see such and such do this?" on the witness stand, you are not allowed to say anything like that. Nothing else exists except for it. On the streets, though, the reality is not always faced. Perception is among these interactions. Additionally, if you are labeled by someone, it may be difficult to remove that label. If you know 50 Cent, you know he's not the kind of man you want to spend a lot of time with. His wit is boundless, his tongue is keen, and he has a talent for amusing both opponents and the public. For many years, T.I.'s career was marred by snitching rumors, but 50's voice emerged as one of the most notable. The lesson was hard for me to learn. It developed into a storm cloud that kept up with him everywhere. Fans' views were questioned, peer respect was lost, and his name was uttered in the most demeaning ways possible on the street. Rather than let the fire go out, 50 continued to fuel it by reminding people about those court cases and the Crime Stoppers advertising. His first instinct was to remain calm and act as if nothing had disturbed him. At one time, though, enough was enough. In contrast, indifferent to the shots, he swung back. The 50 was boldly challenged to a 20-track race by him. To make it interesting, he made it happen on his 50th birthday. Furthermore, the move not only made the situation worse, but also practically guaranteed that 50 would not put up with it. T urged viewers to call the tip line if they had information about crimes in the infamous 2008 Crime Stoppers PSA, which was often reposted by 50. All at once, the internet exploded. T became popular for all the wrong reasons. Fans made jokes, and timelines were flooded with memes. T and 50 did not always disagree, which is the irony of this situation. Back when they were at the top of the rap game, they got along well, respected each other, and worked together. Once that snitch story was attached to Tip's identity, however, it never really disappeared. Because 50 would not bury his reputation, Tip was constantly defending it. Notwithstanding his degree of success in music or another industry, and then fresh rumors said that T might portray the astute lawyer Davis McLean in Power, which Method Man eventually played. 50 Cent reportedly blocked the opportunities because of their history. T made an instant effort to stop it, going public to call it a scam and declare that he and 50 appreciated one another. But 50 never responded with a yes or no. T's silence caused others to speculate as to whether he had truly been excluded from the circle. In an interview, T denied the rumors when asked directly about them. He said that because he was an executive producer on a movie that had nothing to do with Power, he and 50 had a turbulent and confusing relationship. They respected one another's unadulterated approach, he continued, and there was no animosity. But the most common question among fans was still, why does T still keep up this image of being unforgiving? Why, moreover, does 50 intend to continue making fun of it? The start of it all was the 2007 case. After that, T was charged with serious federal firearms offenses. There were a lot of stakes. It could have cost him 20 years in prison. His appearance in a Crime Stoppers commercial, which urged people to take action and prevent crime, came in the middle of all of that. If that was his way of getting attention or proving his good faith in court, it seemed to the rap community to be the biggest violation. If you want to maintain your reputation on the street, you must never assist law enforcement in any way. He spent the night being called a snitch because of the commercial. It wasn't louder than 50 anyway. In addition to using it in songs and making fun of it, he also made sure that stayed in the culture's recollections. Additionally, it extended beyond online trolling. It was 50 on Gunnets that took the battle into the studio. "You're resilient. How could someone be found in possession of 10 machine guns and only be sentenced to a year?" he asked, Gesturing to T, he suggested that in order for such a minor penalty to be imposed, someone had to be providing information. The question was asked by many and was closely watched by the entire business. After his own bodyguard, who later turned out to be an informant, promised T money in exchange for silencers and machine guns, T was arrested. Being a convicted felon, T was not even permitted to own a large arsenal, much less be near a gun. He received a startling punishment of house detention, community service, and a brief jail time despite the gravity of the allegations. 50 and many others were unable to comprehend it. Interviews revealed that 50 was evasive even when pressed to elaborate, so the audience was left to draw the conclusion without naming T.I. But the damage was done already. I could hardly escape the roaring conversation on the streets. Gave 50 the benefit of the doubt in an attempt to remain calm when questioned about it. Given that federal investigators were still closely monitoring him at the time, he couldn't risk getting too much retribution. He has more crucial battles to fight. Yet, that type of beef never truly goes away. It could pause for a time, but it always returns. That is exactly what happened in 2020, when Tekashi 6 was already making snitching a contentious issue in the community. I quadrupled nice case in court. The online release of the old Crime Stoppers tape threw D back into the fire. At the worst moment, it occurred. Once again, 50 jumped on it, making jokes, mocking him online, and making sure people would remember. You So Tough would be the first song he played if he and T got into a fight in Versus. He even declared, he went out of his way to help anyone who might have forgotten to make the link by uploading the Crime Stoppers video and the audio from the diss track. T didn't sit quietly this time around. In his online retaliation, he denied ever helping the police, denied any cooperation, and even hinted that he might be hiding something. He put down the gauntlet for a battle with the Versus while penning long subtitles that pushed 50 to prove his cleanliness. Claiming the 1950s catalog was outdated and expensive, he mocked it and was ready to shut it down permanently. That level of severity showed how badly the charges had hurt him. It was clear that 50 had set off a series of events. The back and forth had an effect on interviews, and a user has an Instagram account. Trying to justify himself and alter the facts, T continued bringing up the Crime Stoppers recording. 50, though, raised the strain once more. He told T to put in his own notice and to better keep his distance. Following that approach, the argument appeared more menacing than humorous. The situation heated up significantly after King Von's premature death in 2020. T issued a statement urging people to avoid bringing violence to Atlanta by resolving disputes locally. Von may have intended to protect his city, but many saw it as an attack on him and his camp. Van's sister responded violently, but 50 stepped in again, expanding on her comments and delivering his own biting critique. He told T that people were hurting, that he was playing with fire, and that this was not the time for slick remarks. His determination to keep the tension high was evident in another public 50 Cent tipping incident. Next came a fresh round of rumors about T.I.'s connection to power. He was originally supposed to play Davis McLean, according to cast members, but Method Men replaced him, which stoked rumors that 50 had passed on him. Claiming that it was false and that he and 50 still respected each other, T hurried onto a podcast to stop it. Still, 50 said nothing again. Moreover, he does not see stillness as a symbol of peace but rather as a strategy. He cannot forgive. He cannot forget. He stops, reloads, and hits when the moment is right. Fans remain divided on the saga as a whole. Some argue that T.I.'s light punishment speaks for itself, pointing out that others have received 10 or more years for a single firearm, even if T skated with a slap. To them, the whole matter appeared to be one of direct or indirect cooperation. Others changed the narrative, though, to suggest that his personal record isn't the best on 50. According to them, the primary objective of this rivalry is for one strong guy to use his position to discredit another. In the end, it appears like the dispute between 50 Cent and T will never be settled. The convictions, the internet posts, the diss tracks, and the Crime Stoppers commercial have all influenced hip-hop history. Furthermore, considering 50's mindset, It is more important to ask when she will continue to defend his reputation and legacy than if he will bring up previous disagreements. But those charges remain very much in the background, no matter what he does. There is still debate in the community over whether Tip should be labeled a snitch. Tip won't be able to dodge the subject entirely as long as 50 keeps bringing it up. Knowing he is 50, there is no way he would have it any other way.